This Saturday is WWE's upcoming PLE Crown Jewel, and Crown Jewel will be live from Perth, Australia. Now, with Crown Jewel being live from Perth, Australia, the show will be starting at 8 a.m., which is irregular to the US fans because normally the shows in the US start around 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. So if you're going to tune in to watch Crown Jewel, make sure you're up and early Saturday morning. If you're in the US, log on to that ESPN Plus app if you have it, or your VPN, or however you watch Crown Jewel. But just remember, it starts at 8 a.m. Now, today in this video, I'm going to be predicting the matches and the outcomes that are going to be happening on the Crown Jewel PLE. The first match that we are going to talk about is the one that was just announced last night on Monday Night Raw, which is going to be the rematch between Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns in an Australian street fight. First off, I got to say I'm very glad that they added a stipulation to this match, because if they would have just done Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns again, it probably would have felt overdone. Even now, it still might feel overdone, but at least with the street fight stipulation, we're going to get a little bit of a mix-up in the match. Honestly, I'm pretty excited for this match. I thought Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns was a very good match at Clash in Paris and a pretty cool way to kick off the show. I think like I said, with the street fight edition, I think it's just going to be even better. I imagine there's going to be table spots. I'm sure there's going to be chair spots. If I had to predict a definite winner, I would probably go with Roman Reigns to win this match, simply because he ended up winning at Clash in Paris. So I don't know. Honestly, they could go either way. But if I had to predict it, I think I'm going to go Roman Reigns to win this match. And then there very well could be some interference from The Vision, from Braun Breaker, might even be Seth Rollins. We'll have to see. People are even saying Brock Lesnar could interfere in this match. Now, from what I've seen online, the rumors are that this match is going to be the main event, which I don't quite understand. I don't know why this would be the main event. I feel like it's not the biggest story right now, but really out of Cody versus Seth, I feel like Cody versus Seth should main event over Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns. But honestly, WWE hasn't come out officially and said it's going to be the main event. It's just people speculating and making rumors online. So we'll just have to see on Saturday what really is the main event. But like I said, I think it's going to be a good match. Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns have very good chemistry, and I think the street fight is going to be fun to see. If I'm going to go with the final prediction, I think I'm going to go with Roman Reigns to win this match again. Maybe we get some interference even from the Usos, but we'll just have to see. The next match is going to be Tiffany Stratton versus Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Now, this Women's Crown Jewel Championship really doesn't mean a whole lot within stories in the WWE. Like last year, they introduced this championship, and it honestly felt kind of pointless. But nonetheless, we are getting Tiffany Stratton versus Stephanie Vaquer. I think it's going to be a really good match. It's both of the world champions from each brand. Raw has Stephanie Vaquer, Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown. So it's just going to basically be like a Survivor Series face-off. Like I said, I think it's going to be a good match. The story has not really been there so far. I mean, they've had some interactions backstage. They haven't really had a whole, like an intriguing segment together. They had the contract signing where they kind of talked a little bit of smack. But I feel like we're not really getting a heel versus face. I feel like we're kind of just getting a face versus face from the vibes that I'm getting for this rivalry. If I want somebody to win, I would honestly go with Stephanie Vaquer. I feel like they just need to keep on pushing her to the moon. If I had to predict somebody to win, I think I am going to go with Stephanie Vaquer. I don't think it's going to be too much longer before Tiffany Stratton loses her championship. But like I said, this match is not for the Women's Championship, just for the Crown Jewel Championship. So like I said, my prediction is going to be Tiffany Stratton. I think it's going to be a good match. It should be good. They both are really good in ring. Can't really buy into Tiffany Stratton whenever she's talking or whenever she's trying to cutting a promo. She just sounds very robotic to me. At least that's just my opinion. Stephanie Vaquer, obviously she's still working on like her English and everything, but I do feel like she gives a better promo than Tiffany Stratton. So yeah, my prediction, Stephanie Vaquer to win the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Now we have a women's tag team match, which is between the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. This story has been in the making for probably a couple months now, ever since Io Sky and Asuka and Kairi Sane were all kind of reintroduced as like the Kabuki Warriors. We waited for that turn from Asuka, and it came a lot quicker than a lot of people were expecting. Asuka and Kairi Sane turn on Io Sky, which you can kind of tell Kairi Sane doesn't really want to do it, and we're eventually going to get that face turn from Kairi Sane. And Rhea Ripley, she's just been kind of involved because she's been Io Sky's friend. They've learned to gain lots of respect for one another after all the great matches they've had, after that great main event at Evolution. So yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty solid tag team match. I don't really see the Kabuki Warriors winning over Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. I feel like Rhea and Io are just gonna beat them. Maybe we get a Kairi Sane face turn at Crown Jewel. I think it would be a little quick if they pulled the trigger on that already. But I'm not gonna say that they're going to do that just because, like I said, I don't think it would be well paced if they do that already. I think it's gonna be a good match. All four of these women are great in ring, and I think they're probably gonna be able to tell a pretty good story. So if I had to go with one final prediction for this match, it is going to be Rhea Ripley and Io Sky to beat the Kabuki Warriors. I'm sure maybe after the match, if Kairi doesn't turn, we see a little bit of cracks in the foundation of the Kabuki Warriors. I don't see that team lasting around for a long time. I do feel like they could drag it out until Mania, but even like that's still a little bit too far. But my final prediction is going to be Rhea Ripley and Io Sky beating the Kabuki Warriors. The very first match that was announced for the Crown Jewel PLE was John Cena versus AJ Styles. And the way they went about announcing this, after all the WrestlePalooza backlash that ESPN gave the WWE and people online gave the WWE, they honestly decided to just throw us a freaking bone. A lot of people are saying Cena got frustrated and decided to shoot and go on Twitter and basically say, hey, they want AJ Styles versus John Cena. Triple H, are you listening? And honestly, like a couple hours later, Triple H retweeted, said, all right, you know what? The match is official. Never really seen a match kind of like build like that. It's only because John Cena does not have any TV dates left, and AJ Styles really has not been on TV that much. I feel like, though, with this match, you really don't need a super intriguing story. It's two of the best to ever do it. They've had faced off in at least 3 matches, and all 3 matches of theirs have been phenomenal. No pun intended. But all 3 of them have been phenomenal, and I feel like this one is going to be no different. The Royal Rumble 2017 one is honestly my favorite in their trilogy of matches, but I'm thinking it's a trilogy. I don't know. They might have only had 2, but that's my favorite of their matches, and I feel like they honestly could probably top it here at Crown Jewel, which is what I'm hoping they do. I hope they just go out there, John Cena, AJ Styles, run back the classics, put on a freaking 5-star clinic. In my opinion, I honestly think this match should be the main event. I doubt it's going to be the main event, but I think it should. If I had to predict a winner for this match, it's a little bit harder to predict because both guys kind of need it. Honestly, the one guy who doesn't need it more is the one guy who needs it the least is Cena because he's on his way out. But the past couple times they fought, AJ won, then Cena won. So honestly, they might make AJ Styles take the win. I don't quite know how they're going to do this. I think I'm going to go with a bold final prediction. I think I'm going to go with AJ Styles defeating John Cena for their last match ever in what I hope is going to be a classic, all-time classic. Now, what I think is going to be the main event is Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes, and this would be the 4th match in their saga. I'm kind of excited that they are revisiting this feud. After Clash in Paris, after Seth retained it, and then after WrestlePalooza, it was kind of a no-brainer. We kind of knew exactly where we were headed story-wise, and it brings us to Cody versus Seth for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship. Now, the Crown Jewel Championship really doesn't mean much in the men's division either, but nonetheless, I think it's going to be a great match. They've put on great matches before. Cody is undefeated against Seth Rollins, at least in this new return ever since 2022. And they've really been playing off of that a lot on Monday Night Raw. You know, we've seen Paul Heyman even kind of tease, like, why, if you lose this match, Rollins, this kind of takes down some of your cred, man. you're the champion, but Cody's also the champion, but you need to prove that you are the superior champion, which, in my opinion, I think Cody Rhodes is the superior champion. It's kind of hard to make a prediction for this match. A lot could happen during this match. I do feel like we are probably going to get some interference from the Vision. Some people, again, are also saying Brock Lesnar could interfere in this match to kind of help set up a little bit of a War Games action. Maybe we get some type of Brock Lesnar comes out of the ring, Roman comes out of the ring, the Usos come down to the ring, and that's kind of how you set up War Games. It'd be kind of cool if we see something like that. But I also don't want them to just overbook this match completely. I do feel like they are probably going to give the win to Seth Rollins. He's been on a roll ever since he cashed in his Money in the Bank contract and that swerve of the century at SummerSlam in the main event against CM Punk. And I feel like they don't really want to kill any of his momentum. So, but they could go ahead and just do the exact opposite. So my prediction is going to be Seth Rollins to win the Men's Crown Jewel Championship, which brings us into War Games, which we'll have to see what that card's even looking like and see what that Men's War Games match is even looking like. But yeah, my prediction is going to be Seth Rollins to beat Cody Rhodes and win the Men's Crown Jewel Championship. Where they go with Cody Rhodes next, I don't quite know exactly where they're going to go with him next. They could run it back with Drew McIntyre. They could put him in War Games. They could really do anything they want to do with him. But those are my final predictions for that match and final predictions for the pay-per-view. I'm pretty excited, other than the fact that I work Friday night and then I got to be up pretty early Saturday morning to watch Crown Jewel, and then I got to go into work at 10 a.m., so I might miss that little back half of Crown Jewel. I'm going to try and watch it on my phone as much as I can. But, yeah, guys, I hope you guys tune in to watch Crown Jewel. I understand if you don't, at least don't do it on ESPN, paying 30 freaking bucks a month. If this pay-per-view does not feel like it's worth my money, I am willing to cancel it and watch it in other ways. But honestly, we'll just have to see. I'm hoping they put on a good show from Perth. I think the crowd's going to be pretty good. I'm not really worried about that. So, yeah. Well, I'll see you guys in the next one.